As Brandon Beane said last week, it's time to start thinking about the NFL draft for our Buffalo Bills. Welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome as we start to break down the 2019 NFL Draft. And we're going to start with saying, hey, what should the Bills do in the first round? You talk about the Buffalo Bills with that 9th overall pick. Should we trade up? Should we trade back? Should we stay right where we are? What's going to happen come draft day? Guys, before we talk about that, however, I want to remind you all that we'll be with you live on draft day. So hit that subscribe button, like this video, hit that notification bell that'll let you know when we go live, including the NFL draft, both days 1 and days 2. We have you covered right here. So again, hit that subscribe button for all coverage of the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Sabres, and all Buffalo sports. So again, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk. My name is Joe. Let's talk about the NFL draft. Let's talk more specifically about the Buffalo Bills. What should they do with that number 9 overall pick? And guys, let's be honest, who knows, right? We will not know exactly what the Bills should do with that number 9 overall pick until the first 8 are selected, right? Let's say the first 8 go boom, 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 all defense, right? Well, then we have our pick as offensive weapons, and maybe we should keep that 9th overall pick. Let's say they go boom, 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 all offense, and then we have, Ed Oliver sitting right there, or some of the other great defensive players that are, the only reason I list out Ed Oliver is because he's mocked to us on a lot of drafts. But there's other great defensive talent out there that's still available to us. Well, then bam, pick them up, right? But we don't know who's going to be available at the 9th pick until the other 8 teams pick. So you can't really say what exactly we are going to do, but let's kind of break this down a little bit. What are we going to do? What's the sense from Buffalo Bills fans? So again, with this video, guys, obviously leave a comment below. And what is your sense of the Buffalo Bills and what they're going to do this season in the NFL draft? And as I've said before, and I'll keep saying this is not like last season's draft, right? Last season's draft, we needed to get a quarterback. We needed to trade up to get him. We needed to do that. We knew that going in. It was just a matter of where we were trading up to and which quarterback are we getting. And we found that out. We found that out, and that's awesome. I'm still a fan of Josh Allen. I'm not saying that he is going to be a franchise quarterback, but I'm saying he hasn't given me a reason to believe otherwise, right? And so I'll give my faith in Josh Allen until proven otherwise. So what I'm going to say now, though, is this draft's completely different. Completely different. Because there are a multitude of different ways, multitude of different possibilities for the Buffalo Bills this NFL draft season. And it might include using the number 9 pick. It might include moving up to get better talent, or it might include moving down. What we do know is the Buffalo Bills currently have 10 draft picks this season, and that's pretty good. But the 3 rounds we have 2 picks are the 4th, 5th, and 7th, I believe. So you talk about the 4th and 5th rounds, might be able to get a starter in there. If you're talking about the 7th round, that's definitely, you're talking guys you're going to take waivers on. So if we can use those picks and move up a little bit, will we do it? I'm not sure. Brandon Beane, we all know Brandon Beane loves his draft picks, right? We know he loves to take his draft picks and use them to the best of his abilities. And we know that 7th round draft pick can be something great because we just saw it from undrafted free agent in Robert Foster. Robert Foster went undrafted, we picked him up, and now what? Now he's going to be the 3rd wide receiver on the Buffalo Bills next season, or maybe the 4th, but still, he's going to be there. He made a name for himself in Buffalo. Would he have made a name for himself on any other team? Who knows? We knew going into last season we had a weak wide receiving core, so we addressed it. We found a undrafted free agent that ended up being really good, and that makes us happy. But where would he fit on most NFL teams? Who knows? But he fits well in Buffalo, and we want to see continued improvement from Robert Foster. But what does that mean for this year's NFL draft? Again, free agency, we addressed the wide receiver position, I feel like, right? Cole Beasley and John Brown. So does that mean we're not going to get a wide receiver? No, that doesn't mean that at all. That's not what I'm saying. But does it mean that we can hold off on getting a wide receiver? Do we need a DK Metcalf or another Brown or someone like that? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. And is it worth reaching at 9? Because again, I think I said this before. I don't think there's a wide receiver in this draft class that's worth a top 10 pick, and I still mean that. And I know everyone loves DK Metcalf. And I know DK Metcalf is a physical specimen. But watch his tape. Not his highlight reel. Watch his tape. He does not run clean routes. He sometimes takes plays off, and you just wonder what's he doing. And maybe when you're a physical specimen, you can't take plays off. Maybe he just needs to go to the right system and be motivated. And I understand all those reasonings. And if we got DK Metcalf at the 9th overall pick, I don't think I would be disappointed in that pick. But I feel like the Bills have more pressing needs right now than wide receiver for that 1st overall pick. You talk about the offensive line. I know we picked up a lot of offensive linemen this season, or this free agency season, I should say. But other than Mitch Morse, they're all just versatile slot or spot starter type guys. They're not like a dominant force on the offensive line. Just because we got new offensive linemen does not mean our offensive line is going to improve from last season. We have to have the right offensive lineman in the right system at the right spot to improve. And I'm not saying we don't have that. We might. But should we get one, Juwan Taylor from Florida? Maybe, if he's available. Defensive line. We know that the defensive line is still an issue. We did not really address defensive line in free agency. Do we go get Ed Oliver? Maybe. Do we get another tight end? We know we did get a tight end in free agency from Cincinnati. But we also know we still need one more. At least one more, right? Or should I say 2 tight ends from Cincinnati? Do a video on the other signing in a minute here. But should we go get that star? Right? The guy who we know is going to catch the ball, get a lot of catches, be a number 1 tight end. Because we don't have a number 1 right now. We have a 2, possibly 2 twos, right? So is that the direction we go? We know that a tight end, a really good tight end, both from Iowa, will both possibly be available at that 9th spot, or at least one of them would be, right? Either Fant or Hockenstein. So do we get them? Those are all pretty good options, if you ask me. I don't see us moving up in this draft. I really don't. I don't think we have the draft capital, first of all, to move up pretty as far as we would like anyway, if we wanted to move up. If we were going to move up, I think we move into like that 2-3 slot. But I don't think we want to do that. I think we definitely either want to stay where we are at or move back. And I think that Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott are smart enough to pick out 2-3 guys that they want at that 9th spot, right? They have 2-3 guys. They have the names. Boom, ready to go, ready to put on that card to give to Roger Goodell the moment the 9th pick comes along. But they're always willing to listen to phone calls, right? Who wants to move up to 9? Let's say a quarterback, one of those 2 or 3 quarterbacks is still available at 9. Are the Redskins, are the Dolphins, or any other team willing to talk to us about a trade? Maybe. You look at the Giants. Maybe the Giants, who just got another first-round draft pick, maybe they use their first rounder for something else and then say, hey, there's a quarterback still available at 9. Let's move up. Well, if there's another team who's looking for something other than quarterback, willing to move up to 9. Let's keep those phone lines open. But I promise you that if Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane do not have a guy at 9 that they like, they'll be willing to move back. They will be willing to move back. We all heard when Brandon Beane said you take the best available player. He didn't say that doesn't mean you don't get more draft capital if that's not a player you don't like. If the best player available is someone you don't need, and then get more draft capital and then draft later. He didn't say that. Again, let's talk about 2 years ago when we moved back from, I think it was 9 2 years ago, right? Mahomes, 9. With the Kansas City Chiefs, we still got Trey White, 24th or 27th overall, right? In the 20s. I know it was in the 20s. And worked out great. The following year, we got 2 first-round draft picks. So there's always possibility for a trade. I definitely do not see us trading up in this draft, so I can tell you that's probably not going to happen. Trading back is obviously more likely, but again, I think Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have 3 to 4 names. Juwan Taylor probably on there. Ed Oliver's probably on there. And probably a couple, maybe 1 or 2 more names that they'll say, if he's available at 9, we're taking him. Otherwise, let's take some phone calls. Let's see what happens. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see the Buffalo Bills do on draft day. Do you want to see them trade back? Pick up more draft capital? Again, guys, we already have 10 draft picks. 10 this season. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you want to happen in the comment section below. I personally would be okay with either us staying put at 9, picking the best available player, whether it be Ed Oliver, whether it be Juwan Taylor, whether that be, anybody out there, Williams, Hockenson, Fant. There's plenty of names out there who can definitely do good things in Buffalo, and I would look forward to seeing them in Buffalo. Again, there are very few ways the Bills can go here that would upset me. I know if they trade up to pick up DK Metcalf, that would probably upset me. probably just one of the examples. Again, last time we traded up to pick a wide receiver in the draft, didn't work out so well for us. So I hope we don't make that same mistake in a wide receiver heavy draft again that has a lot of good wide receivers in it. So we'll see what the Buffalo Bills do. Again, let me know in the comment section what you think we should do with that 9th overall pick. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, because we will be live for the NFL draft both Thursday and Friday, days 1 and days 2, rounds 1, 2, and 3 of the NFL draft. We'll talk Buffalo Bills sports, and we'll have a good time doing it as we watch the Buffalo Bills draft those 2 days. Like this video, leave a comment. What do you guys want to see happen on draft day? And I'll see you all soon to talk more Buffalo sports. Until I do, go Bills.